Fiancé went to a brothel, says he didn't do anything. Edit 3. I took his phone while he was asleep and found photos from the night. Not at all hidden. Last pics on the album. One photo of another delinquent friend openly doing drugs at an outdoor table on the street. The next photo is of two sex workers in lingerie either side of the brothel friend, with the friend in underpants and nothing else. No idea whether my partner kept his pants on or not, but all of those things combined is enough for me, and I've kicked him out. Woke him up and he has packed his bags and gone. My fiancé didn't come home until 5 a.m. from his work Xmas party. This is really unusual and he rarely goes out. He is mid-40s and we have young kids. When I asked him where he was all night, he says he went out with his non-work friends after the Xmas party, which I knew about in advance. He said that one of his friends who lives near us got in a taxi and my partner followed him out, thinking he was going home and they would share a cab. The friend directed the taxi to a brothel. My partner said he waited at the brothel for his friend for 23 hours. He said he was worried for his mate, who is very obese and a heavy drinker and occasional drug user. My partner said he had to go in at one point to try and wake his mate up. In any event, the mate stayed at the brothel, usual behavior for the mate, and my partner came home. I was livid at this whole story and made him show me his online banking. He said he had to cancel his card during the night because he thought he had lost it, and then he had transferred $1,000 to the mate who was visiting the brothel. He said he has occasionally helped his friend out with cash and the friend always pays him back within a few days. He showed me other transactions which proved this to be true. He hasn't hung out with this guy, that I know of, for a long time and hasn't had a bender in years. I honestly don't know what to believe. Would a brothel let a non-paying customer just sit and wait for hours on end? My partner has always said that while a few of his mates enjoy sex workers, he doesn't like the thought of paying someone to have sex and that he feels sorry for the women, and it's not a turn-on. But who knows what anyone actually enjoys doing behind closed doors. I trust him to a certain degree, but being at the brothel, not doing anything and paying $1,000 to the mate who is super suspicious. Thoughts? Edit. Just to add, on the whole he is trustworthy, and I thought he probably fell asleep at a mate's place and woke up and came home. I was floored by the brothel story. He is a good partner and father, and also always looks out for his friends and helps them out. So I want to believe his story. As effed up as it is, I just don't know if I am naive to believe it or not. Edit 2. I asked him if he was just sitting there waiting, why he wouldn't have texted. He says he actually went into the room with his mate. He said it was a big room and he laid on one bed and dozed off, and his mate sat there on the other bed talking and didn't even have sex or do anything, and that no one was naked. My partner says he woke up eventually and left. I don't know if this is better or worse. My knowledge of brothels is limited to the HBO series from back in the day. Nevada, USA. In that documentary, it did seem like you could perhaps just hang out at the bar. That said, read your story. Fiancé goes out with friends. He gets in a cab, thinking he will be heading home soon. But friend decides brothel. Friend is a heavy drinker and sometimes drug user. He stays to keep him safe but loans him $1,000 to enjoy himself, and just hangs out. He has to try and wake the friend up. Friend stays at the brothel, so not so concerned? At no point does he call you? I would be extremely suspicious. ETA. Plus his phone died. And what, nobody in a brothel has a charger? And the phone of his buddy died? Plus he went into the room with his friend? Plus he had to cancel his bank card? Not saying definitively what went down, but this sounds like only part of the truth. ETA 2. Wait. He was taking pictures? With the dead phone? This is all clearly an instance of concocting a story acknowledging things that can be objectively verified but almost certainly repurposed how those things came to be. The best lies begin with some truth and go from there. Personally, I think he's lying. Staying in a brothel for hours just because he was worried about his friend seems like a lame excuse to me. What was he going to help him with there? Medical emergency? Other people in the brothel don't know how to dial 911. The money thing seems shady too. Why would he give the money to a friend to do something he considers dangerous to a point he has to babysit him afterwards? Plus, the best way to spend the money one doesn't want to be traced to them spending it is to give the money to someone else. Then the canceling card moment. The whole story seems shady AF. It's not conclusive, but it is certainly suspicious. I think your confusion is really valid. This is super suspicious. But if he's lying, it's a really weird lie to choose. I'd be honest, I'm honestly unsure what to believe. You must have known how this would sound. Why would you wait for hours for your friend to have sex? Paid off or not, instead of just taking the cab home? I trust you. But this seems like a bizarre choice. What were you thinking? Quote, I'm married and not a complete fool. So I understand that if I go to a brothel for 2 minutes my wife will be very pissed. Now if I'm in there for 3 hours and 1K is gone, my marriage will end. Girl, come on. You, I, and everyone else reading this knows his story is a complete lie. So if no one was naked and having sex, what was the $1,000 for? Your partner is 40. I assume his friends are the same age, they all have money. Why would his friend go to a brothel with no money and need to borrow some? Especially $1,000? Please, I beg you, don't believe this man's dumbass excuses. Dig into this, your sexual health could be at risk. He feels sorry for the women but not sorry enough to not financially support his friend exploiting these women? Are you really this naive? You and I both know this MF is lying. Get tested for STDs ASAP. I accidentally fell asleep on a brothel, is suspicious, but at least watch out for your physical health while you figure it out. Seems fishy to me. He needs to lose that friend. No more loans. Get tested for STDs. He has lost trust and credibility through his actions. Do not let him off the hook. What would he do if he was in your shoes? Show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Regardless of whether he cheated or not, I would be very hesitant to stay with someone who has friends that frequent brothels. To make matters worse, his story doesn't add up. Dump him. Get yourself tested for STDs. You deserve someone who'll respect you and himself. Bees. He cheated and you know it. Find out which brothel. Call them and ask them their policy on non-paying guests' entrance and time limits. This all seems very suspicious. However, he did tell you about it, which makes it even more confusing. No way a straight man went to a brothel, spent $1,000, and didn't have sex. By the way, I had a partner once who also stayed out all night. Unusual. That was the night he cheated on me. More importantly, why on earth are you considering marrying a man who regularly loans out $1,000 and makes poor decisions when drunk? You do realize this is behavior that's only going to negatively impact you even worse down the road when you're married, right? Bullshit. I wouldn't believe this for a minute. My ex-husband gave me a story like this, too, about a strip club. He had to go in to protect his employee. He also lied about the affair he was having. Just saying. Whether he availed of the brothel's services or not, you need to talk with him about making better choices, especially when drinking. I just have so many questions. I mean, why wouldn't he have just stayed in the cab and gone home? He could have easily left at any time. Why would he be in the room with his friend? That's weird. Was he going to take a nap while they had sex? Even if his friend was just talking, $1,000 is a lot for a conversation. This whole story is just too weird. Tell me you're cheating, without telling me you're cheating?
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.